Hello and welcome again to Piedmont Business Live. I'm your host, Ken Morrison. Today we're talking to Christie Soper. She is the founder and CEO of Suncierge. Christie, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, first tell me, what is Suncierge and what services do you provide with that?
Suncierge at its core is really a lifestyle travel and concierge service. So what we mean by that is that we're quite different from your traditional travel agency. And I can talk in detail about what that means specifically in several ways. But suffice to say, we're really about helping people who make travel a priority, who are after the experience over the material, who really want to learn and explore and rebond with their companions. So we derive our pleasure from giving them pleasure on their travel journeys.
So the services you provide are more than just helping you book the transportation in the hotel.
Exactly, and when I think of what a traditional travel agent has done historically, that's very similar to what my experience has been personally. And that was actually part of the inspiration of why I started the company, is because there's so many Expedias out there, and people can jump online if they have the time to search through a million options and sort of drill down into all that, explore it, and then lock in a deal quickly. And there are certainly times for me and for others when that's very appropriate. What we have found, though, is that if you've ever seen the TED Talk by Barry Schwartz called The Paradox of Choice, he makes a great point that more is less. In other words, we've got so many choices out there, it's overwhelming. And if you factor in, especially for women, as busy we are with being a mother and being a wife and having careers, or raising a family full time as a stay-at-home, we just all have so much going on that it's very difficult to carve out time to plan. We can barely sometimes on days just get dinner on the table. So it's great to know that there are going to be trusted advocates out there and advisors who can help others plan that and sort of take it on from a delegation standpoint. And we find that those are our ideal clients, are the people who are used to being able, whether they're managing at life or they're managing a career or at work, can actually sort of let go a little bit, delegate it to that trusted agent, and let them take care of all the details. And that's our specialty.
So tell me about some of these details that you do take care of outside of the traditional travel agent type of services.
Yeah, great question. So traditional travel agents tend to typically focus on, quite frankly, the incentives that are provided by the travel industry. I mean, think about the term travel agent. That implies an agent of the travel industry.
Right.
For me, Suncierge is a total 180 from that. So we think about it as a very you-centric model for our client. We start with, rather than a destination or a theme like a wedding, with what does someone want? It's a very robust profile of needs. And the first thing we're asking is, what's your dream? What's your passion? Where do you want to go? Where have you been? What's your priority? Who do you like to travel with? What do you like to do when you're gone? What help do you need preparing to get away? What do you dread when you get back? We study all of that before we make a single recommendation. We look at this as travel being an investment, and we want to really understand someone's needs prior to going in. So number one, that's the first thing we do that's very different. So you won't see us promoting, specific destinations or a specific package or things like that. We're way more custom and tailored. Another way that we're quite different is that we're also very focused on searching very creatively and out of the box. So a lot of typical travel agents are doing, like you said, it's the lodging, it's the plane ticket, maybe a rental car, and they're waving. What we're focused on is, for example, I had a couple who's getting married at the coast. They're bringing in their family of 20. to rent a house for a week. So they needed a vacation rental property to host that family of 20 where they could have the wedding, there to be near the beach for pictures, etc. Your traditional travel agent is not going to be looking at vacation rental properties. Right. So we're really about what that client needs, and we will search high and low across the universe to find the right solution for them. So starting, understanding what their vision is, and then building a custom trip for them is what's most important to us. Also, we understand, and this was actually part of my personal inspiration for Suncierge, that it takes a lot of energy. Even after the trip is planned, yay, now I've got all this work to do to get out of town. So what we've really sort of concentrated on is how do we make that as painless and as seamless as possible. We have even written out-of-office messaging that people can copy and paste into their emails before they go. So we're very sensitive to the fact that our pets, which are our little furry babies, someone has to look out for them. So we provide services that can transport the pets to the boarding, or we can provide a house sitter for someone who wants to not disrupt the schedule of their pets at their home. We even take care of when they get back and provide opportunities, for example, to have the groceries already stocked so that you come home to that. And you might have a really nice chef catered meal in the refrigerator, nice bottle of wine handpicked by the chef. And so you come home to something that's a little more welcoming. And in fact, if we do have pets that were boarded, we'll go ahead and go get them for you, bring them home, get the lights on, get the temperature right, and they're there to greet you when you get home. Sometimes it saves people money if they get home after the border is closed. So we're really focused on everything that we can anticipate someone's going to need before and after the trip. One of my favorite things that we do is what I call the custom pack and wear list. So if you're going somewhere you've never been, especially for women in particular, what do you take? Like, are jeans appropriate in Paris, for example? So we're really sort of looking out ahead and thinking through what they're going to be doing on the trip, and then giving them a list of things that they're going to want to make sure they pack and wear. And if they're traveling internationally, we just want to make sure that they have all the tips. They know if there's an entrance fee at the airport, or if a visa is going to be required, like in Vietnam. We make sure all of that's done ahead of time. So we want to be 3 steps ahead of our client at least, to make sure that we've taken care of all the things, made them aware of what they're going to need, make sure that they're prepared before they go, and then make sure when they get home they can ease back into it very gently.
Wow, as you're talking about that, it really brought to mind to me, how many times have we gone on a trip to anywhere, whether it's domestically or internationally, and said to ourselves, man, I wish I had known that, or I wish I had thought of doing this. And I imagine... Me too. Yeah, you guys covering all these bases really takes so much of the worry out of it and makes the trip that much more enjoyable.
Exactly. And that's why I say, there are certainly times when, if we're just going somewhere we've always gone and it's like clockwork. I know exactly what I need to do for the plane tickets. I know exactly where we want to stay because we've been there before. That's easy. And people should absolutely go online and just knock things like that out. But anything that is new or requires, the more people you add on, the more personalities you have, the more, quite frankly, needs that need to be catered to, delegate that. That's what we're here for. That's what we love to do. So we're happy to take that on and help someone in their planning.
What's your favorite part of your job?
Oh, that's a great question. I think one of the things that I've really enjoyed, here's a great example. So yesterday I helped a family book a trip to the Dominican Republic because they're going to go that break between Christmas and New Year's. And so just helping them get ready for that and sort of thinking about continuing the festivities of the holiday for them before they start the new year. This particular daughter, very close to her parents, and it's just a really lovely relationship. And being able to help them, by giving them some great options and hearing their enthusiasm and excitement, and progressing them on for that trip, and then thinking about what other needs they might have that we can provide and anticipate. I love getting out of bed for that. I love particularly helping women. That's just been my passion for most of my life and my career. And knowing I'm helping a fellow colleague in the world who wants to spend time with their family and their friends, or maybe even just a solo journey, but just doesn't have that extra pair of hands or time to go do it, make it happen. To know that we're making someone's dream come true potentially with a bucket list trip, or maybe that they're just getting it done when they've said, I just can't get to it, or we'll do it sometime later. We have a motto that's very much about if not now, when,
Right.
And that's what we're about, is making people sort of think through that and getting them ready and leading them, if you will. So I think that's my favorite part. Before I got into travel, we did a lot of personal travel, and I know what it's like to see the experience through a child's eyes. The things that we take for granted that we'll do, they'll do, and the first time a child's had lobster, the first time they've been able to order anything they wanted off a menu, with no holds barred and no limits. Yeah. Being able to walk across the surface of a volcano crater in Hawaii, or be able to watch the sea turtles swim and then come up on the shore. That's priceless. Yeah. To give your family that, and that's one of the things too that I love doing. I love family trips. I love hearing the stories. I'm actually doing something right now called my listening tour, which is I'm interviewing or having travel conversations with 50 people. These are friends, these are family, they're friends of family, and they've all had a unique story. And I have so enjoyed, quite frankly, been blessed with just having these people open up their minds and their hearts and talk about their own personal journeys, where they've been, what they've experienced, what they loved and had a passion for, some bad experiences that were awesome lessons learned. Just talking with those folks and having them share that and helping us sort of validate what we want to do in our model as part of our vision, that's been amazing.
That's really a neat story, and I'm sure that people feel very fulfilled by that.
I hope so.
So tell me, how does Suncierge give back to the community?
The community is extremely important to us. As I mentioned, I have a passion for women, and I've really, particularly as I came out of a corporate career, so prior to this business, I was in a Fortune 200 financial services company as a leader for 20 years. And that experience afforded me opportunities to really learn more about our community, to serve on boards, to be able to assist, to be able to, quite frankly, see dollars in action, to really be a conduit for them to the company and for the company out to the community. And oftentimes when we would set up an event and go participate, we got way more inspiration than what we actually give. It always filled our cups to do things like that. And so right now I'm heavily involved in developing a leadership development program for middle school girls. As part of my volunteer effort. And so one of the things that I offer for clients is that 10% of our net proceeds can be donated by the client to one of the nonprofits that we vetted of their choice. So that's one of the ways that we really, want to walk the walk based on our commitment. In addition to that, we continue to support girls in our community, women in our community, and other diverse communities as well. That's also very important to us. And we will continue that volunteer spirit as well as our donation efforts to many organizations here in the Triad.
That's fantastic. So a person has a bucket list item, and this is right down your alley.
Yes.
How do they get started with you?
Oh, and that's the beauty of having a client-centric model. Any way they like. The best way, honestly, to get us is probably just going onto the website. You can start a chat. You can email us directly. You can start the profile there and kind of get a head start with us. As I mentioned, that's where we start with everyone because we want to really get to know our clients before we try to assist. We take that time, we make that step, and that's a priority for us. So I would recommend that, or just giving us a call if it's convenient for you. It works for us as well. Most importantly, get to us however is convenient. We're also on Facebook and LinkedIn. Feel free to like us on Facebook. We appreciate that. And that's where we'll also be publishing specific packages, like for example, now through the end of the year, the St. Regis in Puerto Rico, I was talking with one of their representatives last week, as a matter of fact, and they've got some fantastic trips that they're putting together that I think are ideal for families. So we can talk about that. We also met a lady who owns a fabulous boutique hotel right in the heart of Paris. Oh, wow. She really caters to romance as well as girls' getaway. She has an open bar with champagne 24/7. Wow. And so a lot of the folks will go out and shop or go to the Louvre, which is only 10 minutes away from her, and then come back and have a glass of wine or champagne and then go back out. So I loved her vibe. I saw wonderful pictures, and she's definitely going to be a lot of fun to work with for folks who are interested in Paris and really seeing it through that city lens. So very excited about that as well. So every day we're searching for new partners to build relationships with and pass along benefits to our clients. We are relationships at the heart and at the core. We're not about transactions, and I can certainly help people if they just need to do a quick travel transaction online. Happy to route people. But in the end, if folks are looking for a partner, if they're looking for someone to build a relationship with, if they're willing to invest their time on the front end to help us learn more about them, that means every time we plan a travel experience for them, we're going to be more and more prepared. We're going to have a better tailored experience for them each time, and it's going to be tailored to any needs that they're going to have. And we'll get better and better at it the more we get to know them. So if they're willing to build that relationship on the front end with us, we know that's going to pay back, continually over that relationship for them, because that means everything we're going to put in front of them is going to be perfect for them.
Excellent. So. Christie, thanks so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for letting me be here. This was so much fun. I enjoyed it.
It's amazing. Such a unique approach to a very, I don't want to say old business, but a business that's been around for a long time, but it's such a unique approach to it.
Well, thank you.
We wish you great success with that. And if you want to know more about Suncierge and want to check off that item on your bucket list, then visit their website. The link is at the bottom of this page. It's also at the end of this video. Please visit their website, take that trip, and be happy about it. Thanks so much for tuning in to Piedmont Business Live. We'll see you again next time.